I think so. Yes, the little live button in the upper right-hand corner is yellow. So I'm assuming that we are live. And yes, we are live. Yay!
Every time I'm always surprised, like, is it going to go through? Is it not going to go through? I always have that little moment of, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. I'm always like, am I going to break it? I'm probably going to break it.
Oh, we have so many people commenting. This is so exciting.
Hey, Jennifer and Lou, Lady Gizmo. How are you guys?
Mary is excited, and then I saw Jennifer love the book, which I was excited about. I really enjoyed this book.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book.
I know. So how many people have read it? Are you?
Yeah.
You like it? Thought?
I have it via my Kindle, because yes.
I actually have the ebook and the paper edition, so there's like double the love.
That's understandable.
I already got this next one in the series, and then the third one is a pre-order. So the third one comes out, I think, February 12th.
Yes, so, I have it pre-ordered.
Clearly, I'm liking this book.
Yeah. Lou just finished about an hour ago.
So in other words, fresh. Like you got this. You know the details better than anybody.
Yeah, because this is the first book I read this month. So, and I know Nicole started it today because I saw her talk about it earlier today.
I think I liked your status over on Goodreads because I was changing mine to read, and then I saw you say currently reading, and so I saw that and I was just smiling. I'm like, oh, I love you. I'm like, oh, I got a good best friend. She's reading it.
I just finished it 15 minutes ago.
So what did you think?
Good job. Does everybody want to put their star ratings below in the comments like we normally do?
I saw you gave it 4 stars, right?
I gave it 5 stars. I gave the second one 4 stars.
Oh, you've already read the second one in the series.
Yeah. I finished the first one, and I immediately bought the second one, and then finished it, and then immediately pre-ordered the third one.
I mean, I have very little complaint. Like, I have few complaints when it comes to this book. My only hindrance was at the end when they started talking about ghosts. I was going, okay, this is throwing me for a loop. But I'm like, wait a second. So I'm gonna say 4.5, like almost 5. The ghost at the end was where I was like a little confused.
Yeah, and that one, like, if I could have given it over 5 stars, I would have, because that made me so excited about the ghosts. I was like, oh. So we're having like a library mystery series mixed in with some supernatural? Yes, please.
I was confused by that because there had been realism up until that point, and then all of a sudden,
little nuances throughout the book, like when she didn't want to go into that one room because she had a bad feeling about it. And so I kind of picked up that there might be, like, I was hoping in my hoping of hearts that it might be, but I didn't know until the very end.
That's fair. No, I mean, now you get me thinking. I do give her credit because she did probably include a lot of things like that. But I think I was more looking at. I mean, I was down for the romance. I was following that. You know.
Oh my God, that romance was to die for. I loved it so much. That romance I was just living for. Yes, please.
I have to admit, I loved it. I really did. It took me a little bit, like the first, I want to say, 20 pages or so, I was kind of going, okay, I'm getting, there are a lot of names thrown at you. You don't know what's going on. But like Richard, he was just like, he kept growing on me. And I'm like, I love you. You're going to be a book boyfriend by the end of this.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And then once you read the second one, like even more book boyfriend, like, oh my God, I loved him.
The details when she would write, like, oh, he kissed her temple and he was just so caring. I mean, and he was so sweet. I mean, he was talking about being a dancer. I mean, it was so different from other characters that you've read when it comes to like male leads. I'm going, I love this guy.
Like, and I love how they go into the depth and of the town, like the history of the town and how everything ties together. I really, really, really enjoyed that. Like, there was nothing in that book that wasn't needed, or that wasn't like superfluous. Like superfluous, is that how you say the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like frilly. Everything was there for a reason.
I mean, I have to admit, I was very impressed with kind of the caliber of writing. I mean, because again, we've had this kind of discussion in previous live streams because they're the first book in the series, and those are really hard to do. And so, especially when you want to set it up for, you know, potentially subsequent books, obviously, like when you want to have a fair number, then you have to put enough things in there. But I was so intrigued because we had the current modern day mystery, but then we had the old mystery as well. And then we ended up throwing in a couple other things. It was just, and she balanced it just extraordinarily well. I was just so impressed. I mean, I think I was really probably even more emotionally invested in the historical murder. I wanted to know about like who killed her, what's going on.
And like you wanted to know about all the things and how, you know, old families connected to the new families and everything like that. I really loved, like, I loved how Lou said it. She said she loved the flow of the story, and that's a really good way to say it. I loved the way that it was just seamless. It didn't seem as though it wasn't hard to read once you got into it.
The pacing was just on par for me.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, again, we had this discussion one time where like the cat was the sleuth. I liked that she was actually the sleuth and she was looking for things, and she had kind of that motivation because that's what she's intrigued by, and that's, you know, what her new love interest wants to find out. So there were a lot of reasons for her to get involved. And then she was smart about things. She wasn't one of those, you know, I know it's a terrible phrase, like too stupid to live heroines, like when you have somebody who's just completely ridiculous. You know, she made logical assumptions. You could see the deductions working. I was there for her as the lead character. I liked her.
I liked her a lot, but I liked all of the characters. Like her Aunt Lydia was just amazing. I loved her sassiness. Oh my goodness. When she was like, "You're going to wear that?" Whenever she goes to go meet Richard, like it was just, oh, she was cracking me up.
I loved it when she was like, "You might have to fight me for it." I'm just kind of nudging her and she's pushing her towards him. I got the biggest kick out of her.
Yeah. She was awesome. I agree with Mary. I wish I had an Aunt Lydia. True story.
I think the dog, I don't know if y'all can see this in the corner. He's just right over there making noise. I apologize.
It's a joke.
I don't know what was going on. He's trying to like bury the bone into the wall, I think. No, I loved her disposition, and she was just, I mean, it was interesting to see her characterizations, and she was, again, everyone was written like they were the main character and they had their own personalities. They were so distinct from one another. I love Sunny too, but with Lydia, you know, the way she disliked certain people and the way she liked other people, and since I liked her, I was following her ideas almost. Like she didn't like the guy who would return and change his name. So I'm like, I don't like you either because she doesn't like you.
Yeah, Aunt Lydia doesn't like you. I don't like you. You haven't given me a reason not to like you, but I trust whatever Aunt Lydia says.
That was what was going on with me for like 90% of the book.
Like, I 100% agree with that. I mean, all I wanted to do was please Aunt Lydia. I wanted to make her happy.
She was so cute. I mean, I just got the biggest kick out of her when she was just so sweet. I just really I loved her.
Yeah.
She was spunky. That is the best word for her, spunky.
Yes, she was very, very spunky. What did you guys think about the mystery within the mystery? So, like, I don't know, how the past ties into the present kind of way, and how everything is sort of tied together. Was that, like, good? Did you want it to stay mostly in the present? That kind of thing.
I don't know what he's doing. He's been in a mood all day. I really love the historical. I mean, I was so intrigued by that, especially because we were able, I like that she made everything come back to the forefront. She was able to tie up the loose ends in that regard, because I really wanted to know. I think it was around the 80% mark, because even though I had the physical copy, I did read it on my Kindle, the Kindle app. And so around the 80% mark, I was going, we're kind of tying up right now, but there's still more to go, and I have questions. I liked that she found the body. I liked that she kind of was emotionally invested, and she related it back. You know, she found the locket, and then it worked. I was so happy with this book.
I was really, really thrilled, and I was tied even more to the town than I probably have been in a cozy mystery series before, because you sort of feel how the town has aged when it came to, you know, the water wells and the orphanage and, you know, everyone dying from those reasons and different things like that, all the way tying up to, you know, Richard getting sick. And it was just all tied together. I really liked that.
And I mean, with Richard, I really liked that because it made sense. It was kind of the natural progression. It was logical. Yes, he's a new dance instructor, so naturally they want to have his medical on. Because again, even as students at universities, they make you input, you know, oh, do you have your tetanus shot and stuff? So I mean, that's what universities do. They would want that. And so to have that go just so neatly into the next scene and kind of play in with that, I really appreciated how kind of well constructed this story was.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I love what Nicole said. She says, I feel like this book has it all. Mystery, historical, romance, and paranormal. It hit all the bases. It really, really did. That's one of the main reasons why I think I loved it so much.
I mean, I was going to say the significance of the town's history. I was so intrigued by the fact that these people were just so dedicated to their town, and they loved their, you know, the buildings that had been in their families, and they were proud of them. They wanted to maintain them. I mean, when she was out there gardening, like, they were working for it. They wanted to improve the town. I was there for the town. I want Sunny to be the new mayor. That's got to happen too. I'm holding out for that.
Yeah, right? I mean, you should, if you guys really did like this, you should read the second book. It gets better. It gets better. There's a reason why I already pre-ordered the third book.
I was going to say, if anyone wants to do a buddy read with me with this book, because I will be down for reading it within the next week, so just let me know. Yeah. I am down for the next book.
It's so good. I love how Mary said that the small town felt like a character. It did feel like a character itself. Like, you're watching it grow as the years go on, like seeing how it's going with the times. I really, really like that.
I feel like that's a great way of saying it, because I really appreciated at the end how people realized, no, there was a prejudice. You were unfairly convinced that this woman was a murderer when she was not. And so it was almost like the town got older. It was progressed. It became more emotionally mature. So it really did feel like a living, breathing organism to a certain degree. I really like the way that you say that. I'm like, can we take that and put this quote somewhere? The town felt like a character.
It was,
I love that.
Yeah, that you hit it on the head, Mary. Perfect.
I was like, you win. I don't know what you win, but you win, because that is the perfect phrasing.
100%.
I love it. I was gonna say, so you guys, we talked about the romance kind of a little bit, but you guys were loving Richard. I just thought he was completely book boyfriend material. I loved him.
Goodness, perfect. Like, the thing that sucks is that I've read both the first two books, and so things run together. In this book, did he tell her to go and look at a specific video?
Yes.
Oh my God, that made my heart so happy as someone who is not a tiny person. And he was just all about the curvy girls and like how, you know, you're beautiful just the way you are. That made my heart just like explode. I can't even explain to you like how much that made me fall in love with Richard.
There were so many details with him where I just kept liking him more and more and more, and that was the pinnacle. That was the zenith, because before he was nervous, he wanted to impress her. He was very thoughtful and caring. I mean, he was just so sweet. And then when he did that, and I almost liked how he let his actions speak for him in that regard. It was one of those, I'm not just going to tell you I think you're beautiful. I actually really truly believe in this, and I have the video and the experiences to back this up. I'm not just saying this for the sake of the story. There's more to it than that.
Yeah, he wasn't just trying to get laid. He wasn't just trying to, you know, be the manly guy. I loved how in touch with his feelings he was. I love the fact that he was so patient and open with her and willing to wait. And it made my heart so happy because it was awesome.
I mean, it was so cute. I mean, I got the biggest kick out of the dialogue when he started talking like, yeah, I want to reel this fish in. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one. And and then she goes and says, yeah, we were talking about fishing. I just thought that was the cutest way for them to have their first kiss. I honestly don't think I've come across anything like that.
Yes, no, I love how Lisa says, she goes, I think he's one of the best boyfriend setups I have experienced with cozies. I agree. Like the way that they that she created him and built him up as a real person, as his own character, and not just as a guy, a side character. It was awesome.
I mean, this was just me. It wasn't insta love, but at the same time, the relationship went from meeting to having those in-depth feelings over the course of this one narrative. I kind of expected it to be this prolonged relationship where she had her doubts the whole book, because I've read other cozies where it's the same love interest for, you know, the first 7 books in the series where they don't even kiss and they're just kind of flirting back and forth. So to have them actually build the relationship and have it move forward in that way, I just was so appreciative of that, because yes, slow burn romances are great, but I'm so happy this was not a slow burn romance. I wanted that relationship to progress.
Yeah, I don't think I could have handled it if it was a slow burn romance. I think I would have gotten frustrated with her as a character. Not him. Would not have gotten frustrated with him. Wrong in my eyes. But with her, I would have gotten frustrated. So, but I like how the book happens over weeks, right? So it's not like it's insta love. It's literally, even though it is in what narrative, one book, it happens over a longer period of time than what certain books happen in.
I mean, there was just something so sweet about the relationship to me. When she ever went over there just dressed casually in her Instinct t-shirt, which I just highlighted, I was just Instinct t-shirt, my detail, I loved that. She goes over there just totally casual, and then he's totally casual. It was just, the way they just interacted and were just so at ease with one another, and they, you know, told their backstories. And again, it wasn't like exposition, we're just dumping this on you. It worked with the dialogue, it worked with their characterizations. Nailed it.
She couldn't have done better. Like I could not find any fault when it came to that particular relationship building. I love it.
It was so cute because he had these one-liners or these throwaway lines almost, but they just resonate with me. He had this one, I'm glad you're single. This makes things simpler for me.
And we're like, yes, 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 yes.
And then he's like, I have no intention of leaving. And then if I marry someone who has a brother, then I can actually have nieces and nephews. It was so cute.
Yeah, he just kept dropping those hints, and like my heart just kept like opening more and more for him, and I was like, yep, yes, yes. I was like, girl, let's
this is my other one. So family of scientists, not sure how well I'll fit in. Like, he's already planning to fit in with their family. That was when I was just,
yep, yes, I loved it.
Let's see. I also got like a really good sense of the characters who weren't there. Again, just speaking to the writing, I love that we got to know her parents. We got a sense of her mother and her background, and then we got a sense of like her brother Scott. I mean, I am here for the rest of the series. I want to meet Scott and the mother in the next books, and I don't know if you've met them already.
Yeah, no. So you haven't met, like in the second book, you haven't met the mom yet, but you get a little bit more information about why the mom never came back to the town. And it was, I don't know, again, the way she builds these relationships, I'm just living for the whole entire time. So I can't wait until the third book drops on my Kindle and I, you know, read for the whole entire day and finish the book.
I mean, I have questions. Like, I have things I want to know. I want to know about Sunny becoming mayor. I want to know if Sunny gets back together with like the police guy. I mean, I want the what's his name? Brad? Is his name Brad? I wanted her. I was like, is she gonna get back together with him? Because he had that longing for her, and she was just.
And at first, at the beginning of the first book, I thought that he was kind of like a douche. Like, I was not happy with him. Because Amy had talked about how, you know, she had dated him for a little while and he just sort of got kind of mad because she dumped him kind of thing. And so like at first I was like, oh, I don't like him. But then, I don't know, the narrative sort of changed to he was in love with Sunny and like still had like doughy eyes for Sunny. So then I was kind of confused when it came to his character. I think that was the only time in the book that I was confused.
I will admit one thing that kind of caught me. This is just me being me, and I know Nicole's watching, and she knows my biggest hang-up in romance novels is the other woman thing. That's just one of my hang-ups. And so I was surprised when Sunny went out with Richard, and I was just kind of going, wait a second, huh? What? because Sunny didn't tell our heroine that she met up with Richard, who she was kind of pushing on her. So I was kind of surprised about that little romantic interlude. I mean, I know it was just kind of a throwaway paragraph, or it was just on one page. It was never referenced again, but that caught my attention. I was going, wait a second, Richard. I know you're a sweetheart, but what? Go back a second.
Well, I mean, you can see that Amy said that she wasn't interested in guys in any way, shape, or form, that she wasn't wanting a relationship because she just got out of that huge bad relationship. And so in the end, Sunny was sort of in the free and clear because Amy wasn't there for it. Now, later, it was. So it really changes it. But, you know.
I was like, how do I mute myself to mute this dog?
You're fine.
I honestly have no idea what he was barking at. No, I mean, I was just surprised. I was kind of, it just took me off guard for a second. But I mean, in a way, it did reinforce his relationship with her. So I kind of let it slide. And then he had lines where he was like, you know, I'm so full of anything. I'm full of love for you. And then he just was waiting for her in the hospital chair, slumped over the whole time because he wasn't allowed back. So I'm like, I will let certain things like this slide right now because he's already setting the bar pretty high.
The guy in town, you know, there's not a lot of single guys in the town, apparently, from what we were told. So, yeah.
I mean, he had enough sweetness to offset that
one blip on the radar.
Yes, and the dog is not barking, so I guess he agrees. Otherwise, I feel like we would have another over there.
Be salty.
But I mean, it was just so cute. He's like, I almost brought wine, but then I remembered your poor head, and he kissed her temple.
Anything with head kissing, like forehead kissing or temple kissing, automatically going to make me swoon. I'm just gonna say, like that is automatic, hands down. Like they'll get out of trouble for anything.
I mean, I loved it when she realized she was in love with him. She's like, she heard his voice. She goes, Amy shouted another voice, one I knew and loved. I'm going, oh, she loves him.
Yeah.
I was melting.
I loved it. It was so good. And I just love how, I don't know, willing he was to be patient and calm with her and her heartache, and how he wasn't judgy about her douchebag of a previous boyfriend and everything. Even he was like, yeah, he's a douche.
I mean, I honestly, I think she might have resigned a little too quickly almost, because of the situation. If she'd been practically living with him and been with him for almost a year and a half, a year in total, and he's cheating on her, yeah, I mean, I can see why she would get upset and potentially unravel for a single night. It's not like she went and did something completely ridiculous and crazy and over the top. I was kind of going to give her almost a pass for that. Yeah. So I'm not really sure why they made it feel like she couldn't be on that campus at all. I was kind of curious about that.
That's what I was curious about. I was like, no. But then I thought this was her reason to go back home. So I was like, okay, I'll give that to you. And maybe it's a small, college and everything like that. So,
I mean, I've been on a lot of university campuses, and I mean, some of the stuff you hear, like that would not even be on the spectrum of some of the crazy stuff that happens. I mean, I remember one time when I was an undergrad, someone brought their dog in and he jumped up on the table and started eating stuff during there was the buffet situation. Like, yeah, that one stuck with me. I mean, the cheating, some guy cheating and they were getting mad. She's entitled to get mad. I'm giving her.
She's entitled to get livid. Totally understand. He wasn't shy about telling her what a jerk her ex was. No, he was not. Which I liked because it reinforced her feelings about him and that he was really a butthead. Like he was just a horrible person.
I also kind of like how he disliked him before she even said that he was the ex-boyfriend. Mm-hmm. He vocalized his opinion before it was influenced by her own experiences. So I like that he had his own kind of perspective and point of view before he even had the outside knowledge. He already had this perspective. Mm-hmm. And which also tells us something about the guy.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, you're a good judge of character. I like you. You already know.
Like, Aunt Lydia doesn't like you. I don't like you either. So.
Exactly.
I mean,
Lydia never liked that guy.
Would he have sat in the ambulance and put his hand on kept his hand on the shoulder the entire time on the way to the hospital? I don't think so, but Richard would.
Exactly. So she's better off without that guy.
I love how he's trying to bury bones in just objects.
Of course. Because that's where they go. Duh.
Of course. I mean, I posted on his Instagram that he was probably going to stop by. I was not kidding. My dog, he wants to stop by and say hi, people. So I wasn't really sure who the killer was because I felt as if we had a lot of characters. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of just, at one point I was like, is it Zelda? Because she was in here at one point. And then I was like, well, we have Sylvia, she's unaccounted for. And it was the mayor, she kind of already hinted at him, but then we had our red herring. There was a lot to just, unpack with that.
There was a lot to unpack with that. It was difficult. I did not realize that it was going to be the cousin. Right? It was the cousin, right?
It was Sylvia, yeah. It was her cousin.
Yeah, which just like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that. But then I did like the fact that her great grandmother was the one who killed the wife who didn't kill her husband.
Are we calling her, are we pronouncing this correctly? Eleonora? Is it Eleanor? Eleonora. I like that it tied it again. I'll give you the ghost because she did find the locket, and I was kind of going, okay, no one's pulled weeds in the 50 plus, 60 plus years that this woman's been gone. So yeah, maybe there's a ghost involved to give you that locket. I'll give you that. But I liked that she found it. I liked that there was, the connection. But I mean, usually when it comes to cozy mysteries, they kind of leave the families out of it unless there's a victim in the family almost, or they're accused of killing the victim. Usually the families aren't involved in that way, which is why I don't think I ever really kind of zoned in on her specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because normally they leave the families alone. Friends are fair game, and new characters coming into the town are fair game, but families are not. And so she sort of went against the curve on what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's not typical. Usually you have the mother who's, trying to set the daughter up. But this time we had the aunt doing that, being the matchmaker. I mean, usually when it comes to families, the sister, the brother, they're there. They're the side characters, but they're not usually involved when it comes to this. So that was definitely not typical cozy.
Yeah. Mary, I didn't like the cousin either. I thought that she was a hoity-toity brat.
And her reasons for killing, are we not even going to acknowledge this? She's doing shady backdoor deals, and yet at the same time, she doesn't want the family name diminished. I mean, come on, what's going on there?
No, do you know what year it is, lady? Your name does not carry as much weight as you think it does. Like, come on.
I mean, I was just, her logic, I mean, I liked that she acknowledged that this woman was a sociopath. She's going, how could she be so calm about trying to killing 3 people? And then because she had such a weird reaction, her logic and reasoning, you knew it was going to be flawed, so it made sense in a weird way. You just kind of knew she was working bad base. That makes sense. I mean, her perspective was just so flawed and everything else. You're just like, yep, I can see that you're just completely off your rocker.
Yeah. I'm like, well, in your weird way, I can understand why you might have thought that you needed to do this, but it's still not okay, lady. Not okay.
I mean, I was kind of I didn't know what Don's deal was. I mean, this guy, when he ever stopped our leading lady from running into the forest and escaping, and grabbed her and pulled her back and then shoved her into the little cabin thing with Sunny. I mean, he was right up there. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but like, I wasn't mad when he got killed. I was not upset with this guy.
Not at all.
He was not a good. No.
There are some people that I'm like, I'm okay that you're dead, in a fictional sense. I'm okay.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on there because the blackmail situation, and then when he was he wanted her to kill the 2 girls. He wanted Sylvia to kill them, and he was just going to let her do that. I was just, I mean,
yeah.
What?
Mm-mm. And she just kept cleaning up the mess. She killed his mom, and he like really had no problem with her killing his mom.
Yeah, he wasn't upset about that.
He was like, oh, okay.
I mean, there's also a sister. I think her name is Bethany. So yeah. I want to know more about Bethany because this poor thing.
Yes, because throughout the whole entire thing, like she was known as a sweetheart, And so I'm like, oh my goodness. And she had that hellish of a brother. That
I
poor
mean,
girl.
I feel bad for her because I mean, first you got the parents who died early on, and then she had. I mean, I just her mother dies tragically, and then you got the brother who's just again off his rocker. I mean, this poor thing. She was nice to everybody, and then I mean, I feel like she deserves her own book or something.
Yeah, I know, that poor girl.
I mean,
out.
I don't know. Then we got the mayor who was kind of involved with the blackmail, sort of.
In a way, and then I don't know what his deal was. And then he tried to go and save Sunny and them, and then he got hit by a car, and it was just, that was insane.
Again, a lot of characters. It was kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah, those character cheat sheets at the beginning of the book that A Salt and Pepper had. Did they have that at the beginning of this book?
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I mean, because at one point I forgot who Zelda was. when the car stopped, when they were, you know, her and Sunny escaped,
yeah.
and they're flagging down the car, and she goes, "Oh, it's Zelda!" And the guy, her boyfriend, who she's in love with, whose name I can't remember because again, so many characters. I was like, "Do I like Zelda? Is she a good one? Is she gonna take care of that?" I had that moment of, "Wait a second, what's gonna happen here?"
Yeah, and this month I read a lot of books that have those awesome character cheat sheets in the front that I have been using like religiously. So I'm like, I kind of wish all books had the character cheat sheets in them.
Was that a publisher thing? What publishing house was this?
I don't know, because like I know like some like A Salt and Pepper has it.
Does it have to do with the publishing houses? I'm curious now.
Berkeley Prime Crime Mystery, but I read the first 3 books in the Red Rising series, and they all 3 have character cheat sheets in the front.
I think he gave up trying to bury his bone. He's now content and quiet. I'm like, my little dog Max is right by my chair now, so hopefully things will be quiet on my end and I won't have to mute myself accidentally. So did anyone figure out who the killer was? I'm just curious if anyone, you know, was there, was like, yes, it is Sylvia. I see this coming. I mean, because I didn't know if it was her, if it was going to be the guy who turned.
It was coming. I did know that it was going to be the grandmother who had killed that wife, though. Like, I knew that one. So I knew like 50% of it.
I mean, that was, I kind of got this, I mean, that blew my mind almost when she was kind of reliving the way the woman died. I mean, there was something to that. There was an emotional component when she's like, oh, I guess this is how her necklace got into the, you know, the weeding area. And I guess this is how, you know, she probably fell down and was left here. And she's thinking, oh, this is what's going to happen to me. I was very invested in that scene.
Yeah, that was an amazing scene. And that was like a dark scene for a cozy. Her being down there with a body and like.
She kept the finger. I mean, are we not even going to mention that?
Yeah, was it the finger or was it the hand?
She found, I think it was her finger because it had the wedding ring on it. And so she tucked the finger into her shirt. And the guy's like, whatever that is, we can bring it up after we get you out of here. She's like, no, it's too important. And she's holding onto the finger. And then when they let her out of that little seat that they bring her up out of, the finger falls onto the ground. And they kind of look at it going, oh, now it makes sense. I'm impressed, Mary. You got it. And then I was more at least, I was like, I had no idea. Oh, you figured out the water supply. I thought that was an impressive component to include. Like there was a lot to this mystery with the steps.
Jennifer, it takes practice guessing the killer. A lot of reading of them.
I think it depends. I mean, this book, there were so many characters floating around, but if you only have 3 suspects, you're probably gonna figure it out. And if the new guy comes to town, you have the clear suspect over there. I mean, the fewer characters, the easier it is. With this one, there are a lot of people that I had never seen before, so I was kind of along for the ride, and I was there for the romance. You liked it turning dark. I mean, I didn't mind this getting a little darker because to me, this wasn't the typical cozy. So I wasn't holding it to the same standard of cozy mysteries, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, neither was I. I don't know. It's sort of like up to the bar in some cozy aspects for me. Like I now have like higher expectations.
I mean, I was so impressed with this book. It felt like a real, I mean, again, cozies are real literature. No one can say differently as far as I'm concerned. They are real books. They're not diminished. But there was something about this one where it was just, you had so many components and they were just so well done. Mm-hmm. I mean, this really was like a literature book to me. I'm like, I would recommend this to people who weren't even cozy readers. There was just something about it.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
I have to admit, though, this one did, when you mentioned getting darker, there were some swears in here. You know, it was funny. Sylvia, she caught my attention when she talked about having former lovers, but there's a time and place. I mean, there were some lines in there that were kind of going, huh, didn't see this one coming.
Well, and I loved like the sexual tension between Richard and Amy as well. Like you don't normally get that in a cozy either. I don't know. I really, really dig this series.
I mean, she did tell us quite a few times how attractive he was. Everything from the muscles to how graceful he was. I mean, she was there for Richard. I mean, I got the descriptions of him over and over again.
Oh yeah.
We know now how attractive he is. This has been established.
Oh yeah, 100%. You could cut the tension with a knife. Agreed, Nicole.
I mean, there was at the end, I wasn't sure if they actually did go back to like one of their houses. I wasn't sure. But I mean, they did talk about whatchamacallit, how she was staying over at Charles's house, so we know so they did allude to stuff. Like it was, I mean, again, not typical cozy. Okay, the dog's awake again. He's going for the bone. Should Amy be worried about Richard?
Because up here, Nicole said, one of my favorite lines was, I drink too much coffee. Maybe I'll switch to Amy in the morning.
I mean, I was like flagging his dialogue. But when she said she wanted to take it slow, he goes, all right, but I'll be back. I'm not giving up on this. I've waited too long to find you. Mm-hmm. He just had the best lines. I was just marking all of them. And the coffee with Amy, I mean, again, I probably highlighted that. Every word. Every word in that was highlighted. If I could, you know, darken the highlight on my Kindle app, I would.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the next book club book. That is a good question.
Oh. The next book club book, isn't it Murder at the Vicarage?
I think that's the one that won in the end.
That one, right?
I think that one. I'm pulling up the account.
I'm like 93.7% sure.
I love how that's the number.
Yes.
Yeah.
47.
Yeah, it won with 47% of the vote.
So
we're actually going classic with that one. I was taking a chance with the Agatha Christie there. I was curious to see what was going to happen with that.
Yeah, but I mean, like it won a vast majority, almost 50% of the votes, and we had 47 votes. That's pretty good for our votages.
I was going to say I was very impressed. I mean, people were messaging me. I mean, you can message me anytime you guys want. Over on Instagram, I was getting messages and people were asking about the books, and I was really excited to see that. I was going, oh, people are invested. People care. People want more info. I mean, I was in my own little heart. I did vote. I'll admit, I voted for the crossword murder because in my own little head,
I voted for the crossword murder too.
I voted for that one because I was like, oh, there's a Hallmark movie coming out. We can do a watch along. So in my own little head, I was kind of hoping we could like prolong the cozy mystery love. But I'm excited that we're going to talk about a classic because that will be our first classic. Yeah. We have not had a classic cozy as of yet.
We have not, but I'm super excited for it.
He lost his bone. He's looking at me, so if you guys hear any whining, that is why. I'm just going to grab him. Okay.
Do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about when it comes to the Cozy Mystery Book Club book for January? Do you guys have anything else you want to add or talk about or anything like that?
I was gonna say I don't know if I have any more lines from Richard that I can just refer back to. I have the one about Eleanor's health getting better in jail. I thought the details were spot on.
I agree with that. But I think I'm good. I just really, really enjoyed it.
Great grandmother Rose rooting against her. And then I already mentioned the date when they were casual. I have all my little notes. You've already read the one that you've already read it. So did you like it?
People have already read it.
Did you like it? Or you know, are you?
Is that a good thing?
I know. I was curious. You read it. I'm kind of biting my nails over here. It's going. Oh, did you enjoy it? Maybe. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. And I don't know.
Well, if no one else has anything else they want to add.
Oh, I will just say I loved that she was a librarian. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, 100%.
She was also an academic librarian. I just wanted to, that was one of my little things.
Yeah, one of my absolute favorite lines that I highlighted was, although I appreciated the value of computers and online research, nothing could replace the magic rows of books filling shelves. So much information, so much wonder, so many new worlds, all contained within the library's four walls.
I mean, you can tell, I didn't Google her, but if anyone knows anything about the author, I mean, either she was a librarian or she really did her research, because, I mean, I was very impressed when she cited how academic libraries use the Library of the Congress classification system, and then how public libraries use the Dewey Decimal System. I mean, that's a detail that probably people who don't go to libraries would not know. So I was very impressed with the specificity of that. And then I also liked how she was talking about stereotypes about librarians wearing their buns and cardigans and their pearls. So I kind of like that she was trying to dispel the stereotype.
Yeah,
it worked. Yes, talking about the smell of books, I always picture Rory Gilmore when she's holding up the books. I'm like, smell the book. I don't know if you guys remember that scene, and you're nodding. So.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorite GIFs that I use on Twitter. Apparently, Victoria Gilbert holds a BA in theater, an MA in library science, a second MA in liberal studies, and is a member of Sisters in Crime, International Thriller Writers, and Mystery Writers of America.
Well, I'm officially following her on Goodreads, and I think on the back of my book it has her Twitter, so I'm going to have to go follow her over there too.
Yeah, she worked as a reference librarian, research librarian, and a library director.
So that's why she got those details right.
That's why she's fan-freaking-tastic.
I mean, I have very few complaints when it came to this book. And you like the supernatural. I mean, that was the only thing that took me off guard. Everything else was, 5-star. That was the only thing where I was like, wait a second. But you're kind of right. You're making me want to give it 5 stars because she did allude to it further in the book. So.
She did. She left those little crumbs all around.
But again, I don't instantly go to ghosts. That's not my. I wasn't actually thinking.
Like supernatural. I instantly, but like, I mean, I read Anita Blake. I read, oh God, Karen Marie Mounting. I read all of those sci-fi supernatural kind of books for years and years and years and years and years. J.R. Ward, like all of those things. So my mind.
I mean, I just didn't expect it because it was so grounded in realism. I mean, I have to give her credit because I thought the logic and everything was spot on, and she had the details, and so it was so realistic to me that in my own head I wasn't going, "Oh, ghosts," because to me they felt like real people. I wasn't thinking, "Oh, fictional world." I mean, that was just how my brain was processing this. But I'm more for supernatural.
There are ghosts.
What?
I think my brain always hopes that there's ghosts and magic. Like that's just like the extra awesomeness. So, like, yes, Black Dagger Brotherhood, Nicole. I concur with that.
Oh, J.R. Ward, bow down to the queen of paranormal romance. Like, she is the queen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, totally not related, but yes, 100% true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can. J.R. Ward is always relevant, though.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is a treasure. Just, she should be protected at all costs. Just love her. But no, I just wasn't expecting that. But now that I know to expect it, I'm there for it. I'm just, it just caught me by surprise. But now that I know that this is an element, I am curious.
You're like, there's even more depth.
Yeah, I mean, now we got even more world building that she has to account for. So there's stuff going on in this book. So if anyone's interested in reading the second book, talking about it, because I'm ready for the second book. I'm excited for it. So.
It's really good. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did.
And then the third one's coming out, so we got to get ready for that one.
I know. Yes.
I have to admit, I think this might be my new favorite because I think A High-End Finish was the one from our club that I think I enjoyed the most. But this one might have actually just knocked it off of my favorite cozy mystery club book.
I 100% agree. This is I don't think any of the series that we've read so far, I immediately bought all of the books that it had, and I did with this one. So I was really enjoying it.
This might be my new favorite from the club. I think this might win the #1 title. I was very happy and impressed with this book. It was one of the books where you're reading it and you just want to keep reading. You
Exactly.
can't stop. I mean, how did you come across, like, because this was this month I chose the book options, but you chose the options. I'm just curious, was this on your to be read list? Like, how did you come across this one?
I went through all of the previous votes that we had done for the year, and I picked the ones that came in second place. So I picked the book that came in second place for like March, and the book that came in second place for whatever, and that was one of the books that had come in second place. And I think that it was either you or, I don't know, one of us picked it. I don't remember who, but one of us did.
I don't remember. I'm like, I don't know who chose the books for March.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't remember how I found a book from March of, 2018. I would not remember that.
No.
But I'm very happy that someone made this second and now it won first. I was very happy. So whoever voted for this one last time around and made it the second choice to become the first, you guys are awesome. Good selection. Good choice.
100%. Like, couldn't agree more. 10 out of 10.
I'm happy. Same. Yay. Yeah, me and Nicole, we really do. We're on the same wavelength.
Good.
See, Lou, you can buddy read this with me. Yeah, because I already put opened the link before we started the live stream, so I actually have the link open and go.
Oh yeah. Yep. I already have it on here, and I've read through it, and it's good. It's really good. I don't even remember why I gave it a 4, because I wrote out my review of it today, and I was like, why did I give this a 4? It should be a 5. So I don't know. It might have just been the mood I was in.
I like how you're like, I'm gonna upgrade this, because I was thinking, because in my little head I was thinking 4.5, and then when you started saying, but she did lay the crumbs for the supernatural, I'm like, yeah, she did, so I'll give you that. So I'm going back up to 5, because before I was kind of caught off guard with that, but you're right, there were crumbs along the way, so I'm going back to 5 for the first one, and now I'm probably gonna give it the second one. I want the second one to be just as good. So
because you needed a Snickers. I probably needed a Snickers, Nat. That is not a lie. You're my Biff for a reason. You know what I need before I need it.
Is that what the commercial where she's like, maybe you need a Snickers bar?
Yeah. Yeah. There's always I probably always need something sweet, or I'm gonna be cranky. That's a thing.
Hey, I'm back up there with a coffee. That line, when he ever said that he needed coffee in the morning, I was there for that one. So maybe not like candy, but I need the coffee. I need the coffee.
You don't give books 5 stars when you're hungry. No. But I'm going to go back because I'm not hungry currently. I'm going to go back. I think it deserves a 5 star. I read a lot of really good books this month. A lot of really good books.
There's always something to it when you read a lot of books that you enjoy, and then one in particular jumps out at you. There's just something really special about that book to me when you just have that one where you're just going, yes, this is the book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Me and Lou, I'm gonna go change my Goodreads rating.
Exactly. I'm gonna do that for the second one. Right whenever we get done with this, I'm gonna be like, no, going up in my mind and on Goodreads.
Oh, you love the Coast Mystery Book Club. Oh, that makes me so happy.
We love you.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're gonna make me emotional.
All the emotions.
Yes. So yeah, Nicole's been killing it with the reading. I saw that. You guys have been doing really good. I haven't been keeping track. I have the Owl Crate. You guys are making me want to be better at keeping track of my reads because I always forget to input over on Goodreads. I got the Owl Crate.
Oh yeah.
You're supposed to keep track of your reading, the magical monthly reading planner. So I've been trying to be better, but I'm still not as good as I should be. You guys are trying to inspire. You guys are inspiring, so I need to do that.
Aw. So for Mary and Lou, the Cozy Mystery Book Club book got them out of a reading slump.
That makes me so happy. Oh, well, I'm also glad that I'm also super impressed that if you're in a reading slump and then you pick up a book. I mean, if you're in a slump, it's hard sometimes to actually want to pick up the book. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you wanted to pick up the Cozy Mystery book, that's putting the biggest smile on my face right now. I love that, like, you wanted to pick up the book to just join us. That makes me so happy.
Hey, short stories are just as good as regular stories, Lou.
Oh yeah, novellas. You can count the novellas. You can count the short stories.
If people can count comics, which they should, then you can totally count short stories.
And you made a Google spreadsheet. That is impressive.
I love your type A personality, Nicole.
That is your inner Slytherin showing itself.
It jives with me real well. Real well.
I always forget. I'm one of those people where I just forget the book. If it doesn't resonate with me, I always forget to input it over my Goodreads because I don't have the Goodreads synced to my Kindle app. Mm-hmm. So I forget. So now the Owl Crate Journal will hopefully keep me on track with y'all. So you guys are making me on my game.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yay. So see, if you subscribe. See, this is why you should subscribe to Owl Crate because they'll send you things that will you'll use them in real life. Because some book boxes, they'll send you stuff and you're like, I don't need another bookmark, especially one that's not really different or something special. But I love it when they send something that's just totally unique and practical. So my little 2 cents about Owl Crate. You can insert pie charts. Okay, that is very impressive.
That's supposed to be a piece of pie, Nicole, but for some reason this doesn't have pie.
What is it, 3.145? You can always do that.
Wait, but why don't you have a pie in your food emojis? Zipper.
I've seen them during the Great British Baking Show. I know they have them somewhere because I've seen them. I know that emoji is
I thought I have the pie emoji, but on this one, on the app thing where I type the stuff, it doesn't have it.
Maybe it's YouTube versus Twitter. Maybe it's a social media platform thing.
Mm-hmm. It's like, nope, negative ghostwriter. All right, guys. Well, I've got some papers I actually have to grade.
Oh, food pie!
Lady Gizmo.
I got way too excited when we saw that.
Gizmo, are you on your phone? You're probably on your phone. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for giving her the pie that I couldn't.
I got way too excited. I just was like, pie. Meanwhile, I'm telling you 3.145 over here. I was going a totally different direction with that.
Hey, a pie is a pie.
But if you have papers to grade, any final thoughts about the book before we say goodnight? Anybody? Thoughts, comments, queries?
Yeah, anything like that? Pizza pie works too.
Yeah, well, pizza is technically, yeah, that works.
Pizza pie.
I'm so happy everyone enjoyed the book. This really, I think, this is my favorite for the club so far. This one really is. So I was very happy. Okay. I love how everyone's just like, yeah, we're here for the food now. But yeah, this actually wasn't one of our baking cozies. We had quite a few of those. So it was fun. So this one wasn't one of our baking, but see, it comes back to pie anyway.
As it should.
And Snickers bars.
Yeah.
But no, so no one has any final thoughts? Give you a couple seconds because I know there's a delay when we talk versus time to type. So give you guys a couple seconds. But yeah, so we have the book for next month. And yeah, that was going to be over on Courtney's channel. So we alternate. So in case you guys were on my channel tonight, so next month we're going to be on Courtney's channel. So
make sure you go and subscribe to Angela If you haven't, if you've come from my channel and you haven't subscribed to her, you should totally do that.
And vice versa. If you were on my channel and you have not found Courtney yet, go find her all over her Bookstagram, her Twitter, her YouTube. Just go follow her.
Oh, hi, Trish. Have a good night, Trish.
I love you, Trish. You're amazing. I hope you actually were able to get the book and read it. I know you. Well, actually, I know you got the book, so I hope you got your chance to finish it. I know her book was delayed in arriving, and she was really hoping to get it before.
She lives in Canada. Everything gets delayed.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how cold it is in Canada right now. I mean, I know it's cold here in DC. Like, I cannot even imagine where she is. But yeah, stay warm wherever you guys are. Stay warm. You know, be smart when you're going out in the cold. You know, tonight, tomorrow. Be safe.
Yes, all the safetynesses is.
Yeah, wear your scarves, your hat, your gloves. Just bundle up. It is cold.
Things.
Yes, all the love. Yes, you guys are awesome. It's so sweet. You know, it's so great to see people talking about books, and everyone's so nice here and so positive. And you know, it's great talking about a book that you really enjoy. So, good conversation. Good night.
I agree. It was fantastic.
Aw, thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we will see you next month over at Courtney's channel.
Bye.
Have a nice night, everybody.